Very quickly, before I start off this next video, I happen to know that about 83% of you people aren't subscribed and still watching this content. So if you like this content, just make sure to hit that subscribe button to let me know that you enjoy this stuff, and it just helps encourage me to continue making this stuff for you guys. But with that out of the way, let's get into this. 3 years have passed since we've last met our heroes, as they've all went their separate ways to go and train to greater heights. Goku during that time regrows his tail once more, but since he's still no idea about his Uzaru power, he can't really train that. However, Grandpa Gohan did tell the young boy to train that weakness of his. So in his 3 years of training, Goku aims to overcome his tail's downside. Yamcha in this what if is highly motivated to train and tries to hone his raw strength. When he's doing so, he's usually in a wasteland, not to cause unneeded panic in the city, as Yamcha also now has a home in West City. With Launch. That's right, they end up together here. Also, during these 3 years, Yamcha would also try to perfect his secret move. And when he tries so, he seeks out Master Roshi for his experience in ki control, since Roshi is still ahead of Yamcha in this area. And through that time, Yamcha spent a lot more time with Launch, so yeah, it kinda makes sense why they end up together here. As for Krillin, he only really experiences more heightened motivation to train when he sees Yamcha come around to train. So he does get a little bit extra gains here too, but only a little bit. And here as well we'll start to see some gaps in power for our main cast. As we all know, the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament is coming up, and there are a couple people here who will test our heroes' abilities greatly. That, of course, being Tien and Chaozu. But before we get into that, let's get into the power levels to start off with, to show off the gains our heroes got from their training. First off, we have Goku at a power level of 190, which is actually only slightly stronger than canon, as he had a head start on training with Yamcha prior to the 3-year age skip, which is the only reason for the slight increase. Yamcha at a power level of 165, which is a bit of a larger gap than usual with Goku. And I know what you're going to ask, what gives? I thought he was gonna train exactly like Goku. Well yeah, and that's why he's like 50% stronger than his canon self. But he's still human and doesn't get those sweet broken Zenkais Goku would get. And there are likely to be a few small ones in those 3 years of intensive training. However, Yamcha has been honing his technique. He seems to know that Goku just naturally has a sturdy body and great vitality. So he slightly goes the Piccolo route and tries to develop skills to bridge the gap in power. Which means, Yamcha ends up learning the Spirit Ball here. A full like 3 to 4 years early. I don't know, just saying, cause in canon he shows off this skill in the next tournament. So he has that now too. Then we have Krillin at a power level of 130, and he's at this level for the same reason as Goku. Without Yamcha there, Krillin would continue to train like he normally would, and since at this point he can't sense ki yet, he can't really tell how far ahead Yamcha would be until he sees him fight. And when Yamcha and Goku go their separate ways to train in the wilderness, Krillin goes back to Roshi like he does in canon. Which you may have noticed by the way I've said things prior to me saying that right now. Tien, by the way, is at a level of 180, the same as canon. And as there isn't really any info that I could really find on where Chaozu is at this point, I'm just gonna put him at a level of 100, which I think will be fair for where he would be in canon. Also, since Roshi enters as Jackie again, he's at a power level 132 right now. He's seen how strong his students have become and wants to keep up somewhat. As we all know, this won't really last though. Or will it? And with the numbers out of the way, let's get into the story part. After the 3 years pass, all our heroes gather to sign for the next martial arts tournament. There's an awkward silence between Bulma and Yamcha, but she's there to support her friends in the tournament. Though not before throwing a few choice remarks Yamcha's way. Goku and Krillin ask him what that was all about, and Yamcha just kind of remains stoic. To Yamcha, it's fighting day. He doesn't want to lose in the first round again. He's serious. Krillin and Goku pick up on this and copy his whole attitude, much to their master's amusement. Master Shen appears and has his spat with Roshi like canon. One minor change however, due to Yamcha being a bit stoic after hearing the rude words Bulma said to him, he's not in any mood to boast, which means he doesn't act cocky towards Tien in the preliminary stage. Rather, Yamcha actually compliments Tien's strength, actually shocking all people relevant to this part. But after seeing Tien fight, seemingly holding back, Yamcha is on his toes. Goku agrees with Yamcha's deduction, making Krillin just a little worried. Goku then beats King Chopper in the prelims, and Tien actually pays Yamcha's compliment forward, however, in a more sarcastic tone, as he at this point of the story still looked down on the turtle school. Goku only grits his teeth at what Tien said. And in the original story, Tien actually gets Chaozu to use his powers to make himself face Yamcha in the first round to settle that conflict that they had in the canon. This doesn't happen here. And I think Chaozu will still end up being called to rig the tournament, however. But it's not Yamcha who Tien wants to fight in the first round, it's Goku. Since out of the Turtle School, he got to see the most strength out of Goku in the prelims, and wants to take their strongest out first. So for the sake of simplicity, where Goku was originally is where Yamcha is now in the tournament allocation thing. So on to the matches. Match 1 is now Goku versus Tien. This match starts off quickly with Goku quickly lunging at Tien. They spar for a bit, with Tien landing the first blow, and Goku retaliating with one of his own. Goku then launches a flurry of strikes against Tien. Tien resists, though, matching every blow, and then counters with a strong punch to Goku's stomach, but it's blocked. Goku then uppercuts Tien into the air. Tien takes this moment to show off the fact that he can fly, and then uses the Kiko-Ho and tells Goku to dodge it, which confuses Goku. Tien fires his attack. However, Goku was charging one of his own. As Tien launches the attack, the ring is hit and thoroughly destroyed. But Goku isn't there. Tien, a little exhausted after that attack, is confused, but wonders if he actually hit Goku directly. And for a moment, he closes his eyes. Then he hears a loud, Kamehameha! Ah! As he looks up, there is Goku, free falling, launching a Kamehameha at him. It connects and it sends Tien launching to the ground. However, he's able to stabilize himself just before he hits the ground, and Goku lands first. And since the ring's gone, it's a ring out. Goku loses. Tien knows, however, that he definitely did not best Goku here, and actually detests the fact that he had won in the end. Side note, throughout the entire arc, Roshi is still doing his same thing to help Tien's path, which proves just as effective, I would believe, especially after a round like that with Goku. After the match, there's a brief intermission as the ring is replaced. Match 2 is Man Wolf versus Jackie Chun. Nothing changes here, goes exactly as canon. Match 3 is Krillin versus Chaozu. This one is slightly different than canon, given the gap between Krillin and Chaozu is larger this time around. So while Krillin is still forced on the defensive for most of the fight, he's actually able to overpower Chaozu rather than having to ask him math questions to disrupt his concentration. Krillin is just able to best him with good old martial arts. Good old Krill Dog. Match 4 is Yamcha versus Pamput. This is actually an interesting fight once you think about it. In the canon, Pamput tries to intimidate Goku and all round is very cocky and arrogant. Kinda like a Z warrior we knew early on in the series. Well, before canon Yamcha realizes he was wrong and then disappearing from anything relevant in Dragon Ball ever again. Back to the fight. When Yamcha faces off with Pamput, he is able to see himself in the boxer. Yamcha gets into his fighting stance and just waits for Pamput to attack. This gets Pamput to boast about how scared Yamcha must be going up against a two-time champ. As in canon, Pamput had won 2 tournaments. Not sure if it was the World Martial Arts Tournament, I doubt it, but still. Pamput rushes at Yamcha, who only takes a step forward to give Pamput a quick elbow to the chest, knocking Pamput unconscious. Yamcha wins. Match 5 is Tien versus Jackie Chun. Tien is pretty tired after fighting Goku, since he had to use his Kiko-Ho against him. However, I still think Tien still has the edge over Jackie Chun here, and is still able to get the win over him, much to the shock of all the Total School members. Considering Jackie won the last tournament, and since all the Total School students know how strong Jackie Chun is, since they literally all fought him, Tien is still able to learn of Roshi's secret and ends up joining the group, much to his old master's disapproval. Match 6 is Krillin versus Yamcha. Yamcha and Krillin rush each other right from the get-go, not holding anything back, which gives Yamcha the clear advantage. And thinking back to Goku's fight with Jackie Chun in the last tournament, Yamcha realizes he doesn't need his secret technique to beat Krillin. Instead, Yamcha is able to utilize their height difference to gain an upper hand on top of his already higher strength. After a few more traded blows, Yamcha is then able to ring out Krillin and move on to the finals. The final match is Tien versus Yamcha. In an odd twist of fate, this fight will still end up happening. However, since Tien has already well begun his redemption arc, he's not going to try break Yamcha's leg like he does in the canon. The two rush each other trading blows, neither side letting up. However, I will say that due to Tien's exhaustion in beating Goku and then facing Roshi, who while not as strong is very tactical, I don't think Tien would have the stamina left to actually overcome Yamcha, especially since Yamcha is able to get a surprise attack on Tien using his new attack. He smirks, and then looks towards Goku and yells, "I was planning to use this on you!" as he throws it at Tien. Tien simply dodges it and looks back to Yamcha and smirks. Yamcha smirks back, which confuses Tien, before he is hit from behind by Yamcha's Spirit Ball. Yamcha then moves his Spirit Ball all around, making it attack Tien from all angles, before detonating it on him. This attack ends up knocking Tien out of the ring, unconscious. Tien would have been able to beat Yamcha had he faced him at full power, and had Yamcha not got to study his moves pretty well up to this point, all the while keeping an attack hidden for a trump card. All these factors ended up giving Yamcha the edge in this circumstance. So in a weird twist of fate, the winner of the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament is Yamcha, who, may I point out to you, in this what if is still yet to beat Goku once. And it's kind of weird considering in this very tournament Tien got a win over Goku. But that settles the tournament. Yamcha perhaps is the most surprised that he won out of everyone. But now, much like Tien, he is out of energy. And here is a major difference. Goku would already have the Power Pole and Dragon Ball on him, since he was beaten in the first round of the tournament. So when Tambourine shows up for the Dragon Ball, he's not just met with Krillin, but all the Dragon Team. Tambourine is smart enough to know that he can't strike with that many warriors present, so he doesn't attack anyone here. Not yet anyway. Instead, he scouts them out and then reports back to King Piccolo. King Piccolo, annoyed that Tambourine came back with info on where the Dragon Ball is, but didn't bring it back with him, and makes Tambourine go back and get it no matter what. Tambourine reluctantly agrees and leaves. Tambourine then thinks to himself how he's going to get the Dragon Ball without having to fight multiple warriors. As he's returning to the arena, he realizes everyone is leaving and spots Goku using the Nimbus to leave, presumably to go home. Tambourine realizes Goku was the one with the Dragon Ball and tails him, but at a low profile, making sure not to be noticed. And once Goku is far enough away from everyone else, Tambourine launches an ambush, attacking Goku from behind with a powerful beam from his mouth, blasting Goku off the Nimbus and tumbling into the ground below. Tambourine then lands and grabs Goku's Dragon Ball. Goku then tries to get up from the attack, only to be hit with Tambourine's eye lasers. Being ambushed, Goku was unable to defend against Tambourine's attack. Thinking Goku is dead, Tambourine flies back to King Piccolo. Goku, obviously not dead, will go on to meet Yajirobe and then drink the sacred water. However, back with the rest of the warriors, it's a while before Roshi learns that martial artists all over the world are just up and dying with only the demon kanji left behind. Roshi knows this to be King Piccolo and gets the help of Krillin, Yamcha, Tien, and Chaozu to try face this demon. Roshi is planning on using the Mafuba. And to be honest with you all, in this what if, I think it would actually work. Considering that Roshi still has 4 pretty strong allies to defend him while he gets to use it on King Piccolo, and since there is 4 fighters along with Roshi, I think Roshi would also be able to stealth attack using the Mafuba while the others run distraction. But I will give it a spin. King Piccolo, being sealed once before, is not really willing to let himself be caught, and before he's fully sealed in this ambush sealing attack, he puts all his life essence into a single egg and launches it as far as he can as the Mafuba sucks him in. The Z warriors are unable to see the egg fly away, as the visuals from the sealing technique is pretty blinding. There's a lot going on, which means we get a pretty peaceful end to the King Piccolo saga. Except Piccolo Jr. isn't actually born with a grudge against Goku, but rather Roshi. And Roshi still dies after using the Mafuba, though not like that matters, they have the Dragon Balls. All they have to do is preserve Roshi's body until the balls are active once more, as King Piccolo was still able to wish for his youth. He was just able to do less with it this time, but there's still drum and tambourine to deal with, and piano. But between the 4 fighters and their rage knowing Roshi gave his life for this cause, would give them enough edge to win. And if that wasn't enough, I think Goku would also be able to arrive around this time, and having his power increased by the sacred water, or whichever water it was, the one that's basically poison, they would be able to handle these foes rather handily. So the heroes win the day. However, since every warrior actually played a major role in King Piccolo's defeat, not just Goku, but Yamcha, Krillin, Tien, and Chaozu are offered to be trained by someone above Korin's tower. Roshi gets the same offer once he is actually revived, and he actually does decide to join them a year later, since he had to wait some time for obvious reasons. And that's where I will leave this story off for now. If you like this series so far, make sure to leave a like to let me know you want to see more of this what if. Also, make sure to comment on how you think this series could go in the future, or even leave your own what ifs in the comments below, and we'll see if I ever get around to covering them. Also, subscribe and turn bell notifications on to stay up to date with my what ifs. Till next time, I've been the Dragon Ball What If Bro, and I will see you guys later.